Hold it. What is this? Are you trying to trick me? Where's the sports? Is this a kissing book?
Wait, just wait.
When's it get good?
Keep your shirt on. Let me read.
In a cave, 40 days, only a spark to light my way. Wanna give out, wanna give in. This is our crime, this is our sin. But I still believe through the pain, through the grief, through the light. Through the storms, through the cries, through the wars, I still believe.
Welcome, Monster Squad, to Geek Salad episode 148.
Evil will always triumph, because good is dumb.
I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
And today we are here to talk about the top movies of the year 1987. There were a lot of movies celebrating a 30th anniversary this year.
A lot of great movies.
And we should clarify, when we say top 10, there's like a distinct between the top 10 box office and then everything else.
The ones that people
are really good,
right.
good movies that should be in the top 10.
So essentially what we're going to do, we're going to do this a little differently than normal. Normally what we do is, and sometimes we've had to break this up into two shows. Normally what we do is we take a while to talk about the top 10 box office, and then usually like the top 15 IMDb that weren't in the top box office. This year was weird because the top 10 box office, almost none of these movies are really well respected or talked about today.
Nah. A couple.
There's a couple. There were a couple.
Yeah,
I'd say half of the top 10 are.
Yeah, I'd say a little less.
I'd say less than that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we'll kind of blow through these a little faster than normal, and then after that we'll get to the Christmas Cultural Corner, and then we'll move on to some of the other notable releases. So starting the box office, 1987 top 10, number 10 at $63.7 million, The Witches of Eastwick.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
Never seen it.
I think this was, a lot of people consider this a tour de force for Jack Nicholson.
This was the first movie that he actually just decided, fuck it, I'm just Jack Nicholson.
Exactly.
Playing Jack Nicholson.
Right, he's playing the character of Jack Nicholson, and everybody loved it.
Right.
It's like, this was like his renaissance.
Well, wait. He did that in Shining.
He did that in everything.
He does that in everything.
He does that in Joker.
He never just gave up and just played Jack Nicholson. He has always and only been Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember liking this movie a lot when I saw it. I think I rented it once on DVD or VHS, actually. Jesus. And that was about the end of that. I know it did introduce me to Michelle Pfeiffer, even though I had seen her 5 years earlier with Grease 2,
Right.
showing how memorable she was. I think it's the first time I was actually familiar with Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and Sharon.
And, Cher was... I knew who Cher was because I'm young enough to remember the Sonny and Cher show. Because I'm old.
But, I didn't see it. However, a girl I went to with at camp had been an extra in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it was shot near us.
Yeah, it was shot in the North Shore.
Yeah, Salem.
Right.
Of course, Salem.
Yeah.
Salem adjacent kind of thing. Yeah, that she was explaining about how it worked in the church scene.
Yeah.
How he had tubes going up here, and he wore a girdle.
Yes, of course he did, because he big and bloated.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess we don't have much to say about that one. Number 9 with $65.2 million. The First Lethal Weapon.
Speaking of another actor who made his career acting like a crazy person because he's just a crazy person.
Oh, you sure are a crazy son of a bitch.
You think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
How you calling me crazy? You think I'm crazy?
Yeah.
You want to see crazy? I'll tell you. Now that's a real badge. I'm a real cop, and this is a real fucking gun.
But come on, let's face it, we're getting too old for this shit.
Oh, at least I'm getting too old for this shit. The funny thing
this is pre motorcycle helmet Gary Busey too.
Yeah, it is. Which is amazing to think about.
There's like a true delineation between pre
His subtle stated performance is Mr. Joshua. The craziest fucking thing he does in this entire movie is hold a flame over his wrist. That's it. That's it. That is as crazy as it gets.
So you have a crazy Mel Gibson against crazy Gary Busey.
Well, he wasn't crazy though. That's the thing.
He wasn't crazy Gary Busey at the end of the motorcycle accident, which
Mel Gibson wasn't crazy Mel Gibson yet. But...
he was.
We just didn't realize it at the time.
We just thought it was in the movie. We thought he was
we thought he was acting in Lethal Weapon and Road Warrior and
everything
Mad Max
else
and
Gallipoli and
this. All right, I will still hold to say this is the best Lethal Weapon movie.
I say number 2 because once you introduce Joe Pesci into the mix.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the reason why everything on the movie is disqualified because of Joe Pesci.
Which one had Jet Li?
Jet Li was 4.
4.
That's when they got all balls out racist.
I liked Chris Rock. He thought it was hilarious in that Lethal Weapon.
I only watched it the one time, and I had to stop it a bunch of times because it just all the racism. Hashtag all the racism. Don't bring in an Asian villain and expect some semblance of respect for the culture.
That's fried rice, you plick.
Yeah. Actually, no, they did do the pork fly lie.
Oh.
Grape soda.
Hashtag grape soda.
Hashtag grape soda.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Dante Hicks is just like you. He loves grape soda.
I'm going to start using that as a hashtag yet. Fuck it.
We will get so much hate.
Oh, we will. All right.
Not if we use it to describe other people as being racist.
That's true. Number 8 with $65.6 million. Stakeout.
Don't remember watching. I just know that it was Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez.
I remember that this was Richard Dreyfuss back during the career renaissance of Richard Dreyfuss, which lasted from 1986 to about 1989. Because he made his big comeback in
When was Mr. Magnum's Opus?
Mr. Magnum's Opus?
Yeah.
Mr. Holland's Opus.
No, Mr. Holland's Opus.
Magnum.
That was like
90s or something.
It was like, yeah. It was
late 90s, early 2000s.
No, it was 95. It was 95.
Yeah, that's kind of like the cutoff.
But even still, that was like just he's still around? I honestly don't remember much about this movie. I remember it was made by Touchstone Films, and that is about it.
I didn't watch it, so.
No.
Okay, well...
the only thing I know about it is it had a sequel called Another Stakeout.
Yes.
Oh, great.
And I think Gary Busey was in one of them, too.
I would be shocked. I'm not going to take the time to look at IMDb for that, but...
Yeah. Unless I'm thinking of 48 Hours.
Another 48
Another 48 Hours. No, that was not Gary Busey in that.
Who was that? Was Nick
Nolte.
Yeah, I always get those two mixed up because
they're both crazy.
Yeah, they're both completely nuts.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about Nick Nolte on our next show. Spoiler. All right. Number 7. This is astounding. Number 7.
I'm shocked.
$66.9 million.
How did this movie even get into...
The Secret of My Success.
How did it even get into the top 10?
It was the height of Michael J. Fox.
It was, and it's such a
When did
When I was 10 watching it over and over and over again on HBO, I thought it was hilarious.
When did Doc Hollywood come out?
91.
Oh, so...
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of like the end of the Michael J. Foxersons.
Pretty much. And I only remember that movie because...
If it can be the reconnaissance, it can be the Foxersons. All right?
I only remember showing up so late for Doc Hollywood that as I was walking into the theater, there's Julie Walters' boobs, just like right there.
Bang!
So...
I think I watched it once on cable.
Okay. Secret of My Success. Okay, funny story about that. For years and years and years, the band Night Ranger, which did the song, The Secret of My Success...
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see what they did there? They would, right before they play the song, like their production assistant would bring out a little bench with a phone on it, and then Jack Blades would just like grab it and go, I got on a phone call right now. Hello? Michael J. Fox? We got a question for you. We want to know what your secret is. The secret to my success. And then they would start rocking it out.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah, because sadly now Michael J. Fox still won't take their phone call.
Because #sellouts.
Please.
Yep. Yeah, I only remember that this movie is awful and Helen Slater.
Oh, okay. I was worried you were going to say
Supergirl.
Helen Mirren.
Yeah, Supergirl. is beyond wretched in it. Like, she is essentially, if they had gotten like a 2x4 with a blonde wig on it, it would have done just about as much.
Okay, so the reason I liked it was because I was a kid and didn't know any better.
Right.
I was like, hey, it's Michael J. Fox. Oh, it's very silly. Oh, it's the oh yeah.
Yeah.
Song.
But the thing is also, it's like the closest, I think, movie-wise, he got to Alex P. Keaton at that point before you get to Bright Lights, Big City, where it's like the very opposite of, you know, the dark side of Michael J. Fox. So, anywho, next up on the list, oh Jesus, 10 minutes of pre-edit time here. Within 10 minutes of pre-edit time, we're already on number 6. 76.2 million. The Untouchables.
Probably my favorite movie out of this list.
Wait a minute. What the hell kind of police you have in this goddamn city, huh? What do they teach you? You just turned your back on an armed man.
You're a treasury officer.
Yeah, how do you know that? I just told you I was.
Who would claim to be that who was not?
This is...
I mean, I love this movie, but it's not my favorite.
I think that this movie, well, out of this list, yes, this is my favorite movie out of this list.
Really?
Well, out of this list of 10. We're not talking about the actual list of movies. We're talking
No,
about
no, that's what I mean. This is 10. This is my second. I would say
number
this is my
4
second.
is your favorite,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I thought so.
Sean Connery is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
He is. Well, he won an Oscar for this. I mean, it's more of a career Oscar than anything else.
So they send one of yours to the hospital. You send one of theirs to the morgue. That's the Edinburgh way. Scottish way. No, Chicago way. Yeah.
Yeah, Scott to play an Irishman because it was the late '80s. We didn't know any fucking better. De Niro
De
Niro is pure Virginia ham in this movie, though.
Dude.
Oh, but it worked. It worked so well.
I have not seen it. However, De Niro's always like I saw Brazil this past year, and De Niro's in that, and oh my god, he deserves all the accolades for all the work he's done.
Yeah,
he's more than a one-trick pony. He can do anything.
Yeah, he's
like I'd already gotten on board with him after.
It's that he's mailed it in since analyzed this, so
pretty much.
No, Stardust.
Oh god, I've actually never seen Stardust.
Oh my god, watch it.
I can't look at a baseball bat the same way to this movie.
Okay, so
and not to get too political, but I'm really feeling that we're getting close to that in the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, let's move on to more things about the Untouchables. Kevin Costner is actually watchable in this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
amazingly.
There are a few movies I like him in.
Oh god, what was it? We were watching. We saw this trailer, and this was last week. We saw this trailer for something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but my mom is like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I'm like, "That's Andy Garcia." Jesus Christ, he let himself go. Because he's so young and thin and handsome in The Untouchables.
Right, if you watch the
playing
clips of
an Italian.
Yeah, the Cuban played an
He didn't
Italian.
get any fucking thing right in this movie.
And they were not politically correct about it either.
Oh, Jesus, you're welcome.
Well, it's like the minute you are any kind of color, they were like, okay, you are just generically ethnic, we'll throw you at an ethnic.
Yes, exactly.
They talked to Tony Shalhoub about that at one point.
Oh, God, yeah. He's a man of many ethnicities. However, though, the biggest fault of this movie is the killing of Frank Nitti. It is quite honestly the worst filmed falling to your death scene I think I've ever seen.
This side of the Puma Man.
Besides, Human Man. He flies like a moron. Alright. Next up. Number 5. $80.6 million. Moonstruck.
The only thing I know about this movie is that it stars Nicolas Cage and Cher.
Yeah.
That's it. I know nothing more.
It's not a bad movie.
Not a bad movie. I mean,
it's one of these movies that it's a time capsule, but not exactly a 1987 time capsule. It just kind of exists
generic,
in its own
generic like 80s New York.
80s New York thing with rough Italian stereotypes.
Very rough.
Nicolas Cage is completely hamming it up and overacting the entire time.
The hell you say?
Was he ever underacted?
I remember though when I was in college, we were talking about this movie, and my friend Jen had a roommate named Melissa, with a bunch of E's in it. It wasn't Melissa, it was Melissa, and she
was white.
Yeah, she was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny too because she was a short little girl, very like kind of low-pitched voice, but just very, very quiet. And, but she was just like, we were talking about Moonstruck, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, unprompted, she just goes into the entire speech about how Nicolas Cage lost the hand. I was slicing bread, and we're like, holy shit, that's hilarious. On a positive note, she married my friend Kent, so everything's good. So,
but yeah, I only saw that movie because I had a housemate and she went on a crazy Nicolas Cage binge for a little while.
Ooh. A crazy Nicolas Cage binge or a crazy Nicolas Cage binge?
A crazy binge of Nicolas Cage movies.
Good, okay, yeah. Just wanted to make sure about that.
Yep.
This crazy Nicolas Cage is Bad Lieutenant 2 and The Wicker Man.
And take your pick.
Yeah, exactly. Bangkok Triad or whatever the hell it was called.
Good God.
I just like saying the word Bangkok.
The Leftovers.
All right, number 4.
Jeez, the jump of
the dollars.
That is a
number
huge
5
jump,
to number 4 is huge.
All right, so $123.9 million. Number 4.
Versus Moonstruck's 80.6.
Good Morning Vietnam.
It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh, my God, it's early. Speaking of early, how about that Cro-Magnon Marty Drywood? Thank you, Marty, for silky smooth sound. Make me sound like Peggy Lee. Freddie and the Dreamers.
The wrong speed. We've got it on the wrong speed. For those of you who are recovering from a hangover, that's going to sound just right.
Let's pull it right back down again. Let's try a little faster, see if that picks it up a little bit. Let's get up on 70. Those pilots are going right now. I really like the music. I really like the music. I really like the music. Oh, still a bad song.
This is my favorite movie on this list, easily.
All right. So most of my memories of this are flavored by the fact I went on a date for this movie. So I kind of have that kind of Jen Larkin.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Second date, kissing date. So there we go.
All right. Moving up in the world.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was a sophomore. We didn't do kissing dates on the first date.
So let's go see a movie about the
horrors of war.
The beauty of Vietnam.
How the fuck was I supposed to know that? Because all they showed you in the ads was Robin Williams being Robin Williams.
Yeah, being funny.
And even Adrian Cronauer, who this is based on, was like, no,
that's not me. No,
I would have been drummed out of the military. like Lieutenant Steve would have had nothing to do with me. Lieutenant Steve licks the sweat off a dead man's balls. I don't know what that means, but that sounds pretty bad. You gotta give props to Forrest Whitaker for being kind of a forgotten sidekick.
I just remember when this movie came out. It was my freshman year, and everybody was quoting it. Yeah, that's all you hear in the hallways is everybody quoting.
Because we were a Robin Williams school.
We were. Oh, well, this was after Live at the Met came out.
Yep.
Which was huge.
Right.
Was it Live at the Met or Live at Carnegie Hall?
No, Live at the Met. It was 1986, so whichever one, it was Live at the Met.
All right.
So that's when Live at the Met came out, and everybody loved that.
That was his big one, yeah.
And then when Good Morning Vietnam came out, it's like, just keep going with the Robin Williams love.
Yep.
And I do remember they had him call the space shuttle Discovery.
Yep.
Good morning, Discovery!
He actually got his first Oscar nomination for this movie.
Yeah.
Well, this was really kind of his first movie where he was taken seriously as an actor.
Yeah, because, we had 5 years had passed since The World According to Garp. Right. So I just want to point out something. Mike brought up, the dollar amount on this. Right now, for 2017, at $123.1 million, that movie ranks at number 16 on the U.S. box office. That's
you gotta. It's kind of odd because you gotta.
No, obviously you have to adjust, but still.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Is that now gets you number 16?
Right, $123 million.
But even still, an $86 million movie like Moonstruck. I'm just going over standard.
Well, an $86 million movie nowadays we consider a failure.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see if there's anything that falls in there.
Depends on what they had to.
Yeah, but even unless it was like a $10 million movie.
Nowadays, even breaking into the top 5 is not considered a success. You have to be at least
200 million, and 3 times your production.
But you also have to open up at least number 1 or number 2,
right,
to be considered a success.
All right. So to just go back to where Moonstruck was at 80 whatever, the closest thing in this thing is number 21, and that's Power Rangers. I honestly thought that cracked 100.
I love Power Rangers.
So
I really want a sequel. Please give me a sequel.
Anyway, next up, number 3, $153.6 million, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Chief, is this...
Shut up, Rosewood! My name is Johnny Wishbone. Johnny Wishbone, and I'm a psychic from the island of St. Croix. Yes, I'm a psychic from the island of St. Croix, and I read in the St. Croix Gazette that the Beverly Hills Police Department having some trouble figuring out crimes. So what I did was come to Beverly Hills to help the police out. They tell me they don't want my help. They don't need my help, so I'm going to go on my merry way. I'm a psychic. I'm a psychic phenomenon.
Ugh, where the magic was really beginning to wear off.
It wore off at the end of number 1.
2 is still watchable. It's not number 3.
Oh, it's not number 3, which took place in an amusement park.
But I mean, 2. Obviously, it wasn't as good as number 1, but it was still. It wasn't the worst ever. Eddie Murphy mania was still going strong.
Right. It wasn't really until movies came out in like the earlier '90s, like Harlem Nights and The Distinguished Gentleman, that really kind of took him down a peg.
And then he decided to start getting into family kids.
Yeah, family kids movies like The Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
Nutty. Any memories of this movie? Because I don't really remember much other than this was the first movie since Dune I had seen with Dean Stockwell in it. And I'm just like, that's Dr. Yui!
Dean Stockwell before Quantum Leap.
Yep. I think directly before Quantum Leap. I think it was like 2 years later.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, $156.6 million. And this movie was like all the talk when it came out.
Well, because
every cheating man in this country started sweating their balls off when this movie
Fatal
came out.
Attraction.
Oh wait, no. I was thinking of Basic Instinct with the leg cross. No, this one.
Yeah, that was like 90, 91.
It was 92.
This one didn't even have that. This had a boiled rabbit.
Yeah, this one had the boiled rabbit and the controversial... This was like the first time, one of the first times I think on record that the audience kind of dictated the change of the ending.
After test screenings?
Yeah, the original ending was that Alex killed herself and framed Michael Douglas's character for the death.
Oh.
Instead of actually giving them the actual theatrical ending, which is her, getting her, the wife getting the revenge.
Right. Oh, I think that would have been. I think the original ending would have been better.
No.
I think in this day and age it would have been better. In
nowadays
this day and
we can
age,
take it, but we're talking about the time of like.
My cocaine-addled mind can't handle this.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors had to have a happy ending.
A little too complex.
Yeah. That's true. Little Shop of Horrors did have to have a happy ending.
I prefer the happy ending.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And now, in that case, absolutely.
Just because.
Because otherwise, it's just a really downer of a movie.
But yeah, between Fatal Attraction and Basic Instinct, there was the was it Naked Gun 2, where they had the theater, the movie awards, and it's like and it was just a whole string of all of those kinds of things. It's like Basic Attraction, Fatal Instinct.
I remember like when they used to have like the talk shows, like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh, and Phil
Real
Donahue.
life hands rock real life cradles. Next time on Sally Jesse Raphael.
Yeah. Phil Donahue and all that, the whole bunch.
All right,
and Donahue was good. Sally Jesse Raphael was just.
I just want to point out how shitty this list is. That we're 21 minutes in pre-edit,
and we've already gone.
And we're already at number 1, $167.7 goddamn million.
It's still
3 men and a baby.
Yeah, how did this...
This is the big emergency.
It's a baby.
Why is that the first thing everybody says? It's a baby. Of course it's a baby.
It's your baby.
No, it's not my baby. It's Jack's baby.
Jack has a baby.
I realize such a concept tends to negate our belief in a benevolent God, but yes.
Because this was at the height of Gutenberg,
the Goot,
and
Danson. That's right. Which is weird because Tom Selleck is the actual, honest to God, star of this movie.
What? Right. Because of
Magnum?
Magnum?
No, it's because he's it's center of the poster. He's the one who ends up with the girl in the end.
Yep.
And by the girl in the end, I really mean the end of 3 Men and a Little Lady. Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ted Danson was up and coming with Cheers at this point, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, Cheers.
Yeah, he was still doing Cheers, and the Goot was just being the Goot.
Yeah.
It was this and Police Academy 4.
Citizens on Patrol.
And The Day After, and
Well,
Came out more than
everything.
that,
Everything. The goot was in everything.
Short Circuit, yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Short Circuit.
I love Short Circuit.
Hello!
I love Short Circuit.
It'll only be another 10 years before this will be unacceptable.
Enjoy it now.
He loves grape soda.
The only
But it's
lasting...
the Stonecutters, right? That's what we have to thank for that.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
Who makes Steve Gutenberg?
A
stone
we
cutter.
do. The only lasting thing about this movie, and this is an adopted video story, that when they revealed the 3 Men and a Baby Boy, that there was a ghost caught in a frame of film.
I heard about that.
But a kid who had hung himself in the building or died in the apartment that they shot in, and we couldn't keep this movie in stock because of that. And this was like two years after the movie had come out. But that's like the whole thing. 3 Men and a Baby Boy is like the real lasting legacy of this movie.
I think I got taken to see this in theaters by my dad.
Oh God.
Or
Yeah,
something.
I actually didn't mind this movie. I found
I'm
it
sure you'll
enjoyable.
like it or some shit.
It's inoffensive, but the fact that it's number one.
No, it
does
doesn't
not
deserve
deserve to be number one.
But I'm glad it made money because it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a
Okay,
fun
now,
movie.
now that we've blown through this list, now when I look back in 1987, I think of all the good movies that I remember
almost
watching.
none of them are on
and
here.
Beyond Good Morning Vietnam.
Jesus. Okay, so Katherine just brought to my attention that
Stephen
apparently
Day has been
Steve
spamming
Day
our
spamming our page for like the
since-
last 15 minutes since we started recording.
What, our Facebook page?
Yeah, I put this up like 4 days ago.
And he's just been...
He's just now getting to it?
Yeah.
I'm getting notification after notification. Steve Day commented on a photo of your
All right.
video. You're tagged
So,
it. Steve
all right,
Day
you know what then? Why don't we bring up some of these? Because we do have a couple of things on here. Katherine, if you don't mind me borrowing your tablet while I talk about this.
Go right ahead.
Okay, and then we'll get into Chris's Cultural Corner. So first off, and this will tie into another movie we're going to talk about in a little bit, but Jeff Tilton had brought up that Wallace Shawn was the funniest, smartest, most charming film about a mass Avenger that came out in 1987, and in my opinion it wasn't The Princess Bride, which is Radio Days. Alright, on to Stephen Day, who you can follow at 8cod on Twitter. Oh, to once again be innocent enough to consider Alan Quatermain in The Lost City of Gold on par with Indiana Jones.
Really?
Were the producers of Mannequin as surprised as the rest of us are how successful it was?
Probably.
I saw that in theaters.
I'd buy that for $1. Alright, over the top, only Menachem Golem would be ambitious enough to finance a trucker arm wrestling themed actioner. And probably half of the other films I'm going to comment on. Wait, yep, Alan Quatermain was on him too. Which, again, I got to give our annual plug. If you haven't watched Electric Boogaloo on Netflix, for the love of fuck, once you're done listening to us, go on Netflix and watch it now. It's hilarious. He does bring up Lethal Weapon. Seems uncomfortably prescient these days. Evil Dead 2 bears the distinction of being the only film in the series that most people watched in the correct order. The Coen brothers haven't topped Raising Arizona. There. I said it.
What?
The Coen brothers haven't topped Raising Arizona. I love Raising Arizona.
I love Raising Arizona, but Oh Brother, We're Out, that was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Just in terms of zany comedy, I mean, I still quote Raising Arizona to this day. If anybody says something to me, I'll be like, okay then. Because they used to say that all the time.
Yeah.
All right. Project X taught us the benefit of teaching a gorilla to smoke cigarettes.
Oh, dude, they're chimpanzees, you idiot.
Wait, I think he's about to post something else, too.
Yes, he is. Words cannot describe the joy I feel every time I hear Sean Connery utter an ethnic slur of The Untouchables. And Katherine will keep me posted. This is almost like he's live tweeting. So keep me posted on that, Katherine.
There we go.
There we go. What is it?
There's an alternate universe somewhere where the first Predator isn't the only good one.
I liked Predators.
We will get it. Predators.
I actually had a little bit of fun with Predator 2. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I mean, I didn't like Danny Glover as the lead, but I did like the fact that it delved a lot more into the Predator, and it actually gave the Predator some characterization.
Some backstory.
I mean, when the Predator had the female cop dead to rights, and he detects the second life sign, he lets you go.
Yep.
I liked that. I thought that was a cool little tweak of the character.
But that didn't come out this year.
Right.
Yeah. No.
We'll talk about that in another year.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Chris's Cultural Corner.
KKK? That's not good.
Chris does mention a couple of movies that we're going to talk about a little more in length, so let's just get to a couple of these now. Hey, Geek Salad crew, I would like to do a quick list of my favorite movies from 1987 in no particular order. Number 1, Spaceballs, Ludicrous Speed, go. And don't think we're not going to talk about that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, they've gone to plaid.
Number 2, The Princess Bride, have fun storm the castle.
We're talking about that one, too.
Number 3, La Bamba, Richie.
I don't think we're talking about that one.
Starring Diamond Lou Phillips in Lou Bamba.
I thought it was Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, I know. But I always call him Diamond Lou. Number 4, Eddie Murphy Raw. Tell Bill to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up, Jello pudding eating motherfucker.
I still hold that that's the funniest thing that Eddie Murphy has ever done.
What, the Raw or just the
Raw? Raw.
There were some things in Raw where it was starting to get a little tired. Delirious was...
That was another thing that we quoted all during high school.
All
during my freshman year.
Yeah, Raw and Delirious.
Yeah, his jokes about the honeymooners being gay.
Yep.
But Yogi the Ranger. What the Ranger, Booba Bear?
All right.
Was it that one or Delirium? The one with the how black people react to the Amityville Horror House.
Oh yeah. No, that's Delirious.
Oh, okay. That one.
Hey boy, look mighty cute them jeans.
Yeah. Stuff we were never gonna get away with ever again.
Nope.
And then number 5 on Chris's list.
This was long before we heard about sexual harassment.
Yep. Planes, trains, and automobiles. Those aren't pillows. One of the very few Thanksgiving movies that you can actually watch annually on Thanksgiving.
This is an annual tradition. This is the movie that starts the holidays.
I was gonna save that.
No, okay, we can save that for.
Yeah, no. Actually, I'll let Catherine do that one.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Chris. And what is Steve right now?
He wrote, "Where's our sequel/prequel/special edition of Spaceballs, Mel Brooks?"
Oh, we've got special editions.
Spaceballs, the cash in.
And he's writing another comment. Someone is writing a comment. He is.
Guess who?
Unstoppable.
He is having diarrhea of the mouth or something.
Yeah, I'm actually sending these over to him right now. I just literally said, we're literally recording. So I hope that doesn't... so he's just going to keep posting. So, go Steve. All right, so anyway, guys. Most of these were culled from IMDb's top movies. Movies that we actually talk about to this day. Not the top 10.
Right. These are the favorites. These are the ones.
I will just say one thing. We got through the top 10 and had a sidebar, and we are still 30 minutes of unedited time in.
Yeah, it's the movies that made the money in '87. I think if you were to count how much money the movies have made since then,
or just...
I think some of the ones we're going to talk about have made...
These movies are pop cultural kind of milestones.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
Well, the thing is, they're still watchable.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start off with the only reason why Catherine decided to come tonight. The Princess Bride.
Well, it's past my bedtime.
I know. Well, hey, at least I got out at a reasonable hour. We could be starting this a lot later. After what with the churros and all.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm not working tomorrow.
Yeah, that's good. I'm not either, but I have to drive to the Cape early in the morning.
I'm not either.
I'm going to be off. I'll be at the office at 7 in the morning.
So anyway, Catherine, why don't you get us started on The Princess Bride?
I admit it, you are better than I am. Then why are you smiling? Because I know something you don't know. And what is that? I am not left-handed. You're amazing. I ought to be after 20 years. Oh, there's something I ought to tell you. Tell me. I'm not left-handed either.
Okay, I've seen this movie about 150 times. I've watched it with both the William Goldman commentary track and the Carl Reiner commentary track. I've read the book a dozen times.
Can I make a request, though? Can we skip the kissing parts?
I don't know
Someday you may not mind so much.
I don't know anybody who doesn't love, and I'm actually going to use the word love this movie.
Well, it's funny because I only watched this movie when I heard that Mark Knopfler did the soundtrack. Which was like 1989, 1990. Like, you mean Mark Knopfler did that?
The fun thing,
it's beautiful. You have to admit, it's beautiful music.
Some of it is. The action sequences sound like they're done on a high-speed Casio keyboard.
No, but like the ballads at the closing song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't sing it, but he wrote it.
Yeah, Story
and
with Story.
Yeah, and he played the guitar on it. And it's a beautiful. I love that song.
It is a really nice song. I like that song.
This movie is just like, it's so unusual though. It kind of like defies expectations.
Yeah. That's the thing, is they didn't know how to market it.
But you know what? The great thing is,
I can understand that.
It is like, in my opinion, it is like the greatest nerd rom-com there is.
It is, and it appeals to absolutely everyone. I actually had dinner the other night with a friend of the show, Dave McClain, and he and I were talking about this movie because he was like trying to just wrap his head around movies that came out in '87, and for the most part, most of the movies in his mind that came out in '87 actually came out in '86.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to the miracles of home video.
Yeah.
So it's just that this movie truly may be one of the few perfect movies.
Yeah.
It's well written. It's funny. It appeals to people who love action movies, who love romance. It's everything that The Grandfather says it is.
And I mean, if you just go down the list of all the characters in it, there's not really a weak acting.
There isn't, because if it needs to be a Tammy.
Robin Wright.
Yeah. And Carrie Elways.
And when you think about it, wasn't this like one of Rob Reiner's first films?
No, he did. Excuse me. He did Spinal Tap. He had
that's right.
The Sure Thing.
I keep forgetting Spinal Tap.
Yeah, everyone forgets about Spinal Tap because everyone thinks Christopher Guest directed that one.
Yeah.
Because it's got that Christopher Guest kind of
Yeah. Christopher Guest as Count Rugen, and Chris Sarandon as Prince Humperdinck.
But I mean, it also did.
Billy Crystal, Gilda Radner.
It did for a wrestler.
Carol Kane.
It did for a wrestler what wouldn't be matched again until The
Rock.
It actually made Andre the Giant into
an actor.
Yeah.
Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If there are, we all be dead.
No more rhymes now, I mean it.
Anybody want to feel it?
Yeah!
He had to learn his lines by listening to tape.
Yeah.
Rob Reiner recorded all the lines.
On the Root Squad.
And whatever makeup they did for Mandy Patinkin was because he looks nothing.
Out of makeup. You have to really look at
it. Right, out of makeup, he looks nothing like Inigo Montoya.
Well, it's funny too, and I found out that he was like a big, he's a highfalutin Broadway guy. I'm like, no way.
Get out of here. My name is Inigo Montoya.
Killed my father.
Prepare to die.
When he does public appearances, he says, "I'll do it once."
Yeah. Get it out of the way. Recognize what made you famous. Recognize what brought you to the show.
As you wish.
Yep. That is when Darth Vader realized that when Boba Fett said, "As you wish," he really meant, "I love you with all my heart."
Who would have thought those 3 words would be one of the most romantic, phrases in all geekdom?
Did we actually do that when we were watching Star Wars?
Yes.
Yep.
Vader, release him as you wish. And when he said, "As you wish,"
what do you mean?
I love you.
But we haven't done our commentary of Empire Strikes Back yet.
We haven't. Oh god, I gotta figure out when we're gonna do that one.
But yeah, that was...
As you wish. Aww. so touching now.
But this is truly this movie aged well. It looks a couple of backgrounds, a couple of puppets, notwithstanding.
The ROUS?
The RUS is garbagey. But anyway.
they look like dogs with...
They look like killer shrews.
Yes.
Dogs with carpet tied to them.
They were.
I mean, hell, Carrie Elwes has made a career out of it.
They were little people in costume, and one of them got in trouble. Was pulled over for a traffic violation on the way to the set, and he's like, "I'm late," and they're like, "What are you doing?" "I'm a rat."
Of unusual size.
Why he has to
have fun storming the castle.
Carrie Elwes telling that story is hilarious.
Yeah, this movie introduced me to a lot of people I'd probably seen in smaller things before, like Chris Sarandon.
Yeah,
I had seen in things before, but this is really the one I know him from. Even though a year before, I think I'd seen him in Fright Night.
I was actually watching Santa Monica, Santa Barbara.
Oh, is he on that?
No, Robin Wright was.
Oh, that's right. And now she's on House of Cards.
Yep.
And she was in Wonder Woman.
That's right.
When she was in Wonder Woman, and she was in the American version of the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yep.
She's done lots of things since then, but it was her. She was like, I was on a soap opera. I was desperate to get off of it.
But every time I see the Princess Bride, I always look, because she's got like this weird throat thing that looks like she has a trach scar. I know it's not, it's just the way her throat aged, but it's just like, I always look for that because she is absolutely stunning.
She is.
Yeah.
In the Princess Bride.
And
she still is stunning.
She's aged admirably.
And we also had Peter Cook.
Oh, that's right, as the priest.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us
together.
Marriage, that blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream.
I believe Chuck is showing this.
When I first got married, I tried to. Oh my god, my wife hated me for this, but marriage. She's like, don't you fucking dare!
I will kill you here and now in front of everybody.
I will kill you, and I will gladly go to jail.
That's when you slip the priest an extra 50.
Yeah,
it's like just do it.
Just come on.
Slip him a fin. Yeah, brilliant movie. If you haven't watched it in a while, or if you've got kids that have never seen it, I mean, honestly, the appropriate age for this, I would say, is 7.
Yeah.
I think when we showed Scarlett, she laughed like a loon when Vizzini died. Just showing what sociopathic tendencies my children have.
I wonder where they got that from.
No idea. I have no idea. My son was asking, we watched Phantom Menace last night, and he's like, when does Darth Maul get cut in half? Jamie, he loved it. And like, what's your favorite part of the movie? When Darth Maul got cut in half.
All right.
Just hang out in your room and don't come out.
Until you're 18.
If I find any rodent skeletons in your closet, you are grounded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good Lord, Steve is actually putting more up here.
Yeah, well, I figured we'd just talk about it when we started talking about those movies.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, one of them is coming up next.
All right.
All right, so the next movie on the list, according to Steve, depending on your worldview, Full Metal Jacket is either terrifying or inspiring.
It's terrifying.
Either case, equally quotable. There's just good storytelling.
You had best sound off that you love the Virgin Mary, or I'm gonna stomp your guts out. Now, you do love the Virgin Mary, don't you? Sir, negative, sir! Private Joker, are you trying to offend me? Sir, negative, sir! Sir, the private believes that any answer he gives will be wrong, and the senior drill instructor will beat him harder if he reverses himself, sir! Who's your squad leader, scumbag? Sir, the private squad leader is Private Snowball, sir! Private Snowball! Sir! Private Snowball reporting his honor, sir! Private Snowball, you're fired. Private Joker is promoted to squad leader.
This is one of those movies that you can.
The best part of this movie
is the
first half. That is it. And after that, it
easily
drops
be its
off.
own movie. It could easily be its own movie.
After that, it drops off. And the thing is, it really is kind of scary when you think, because R. Lee Ermey was just a consultant when the movie started,
right?
And they said, the actor's not doing it. We need a real drill sergeant, and that's like his first acting role.
Right. He was nominated for a Golden Globe for that movie too.
Yeah.
He's terrifying. He's
it's not terrifying, but it's just
memorable.
It's just a lot of like the thematically, like when he said okay, you know what Lee Harvey Oswald was? He was a Marine sniper.
Yeah.
You know, and he took pride in it. That's like, the guy killed a president. That's not something you take pride in.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but here's the thing also, though, is that the when you start that movie out, it starts kind of quietly and mellowly, you know.
Right.
Warner Brothers logo, and then you're watching everybody get their crew cuts. They're all standing in line, and he just comes out and just starts shouting at them.
Yep.
So the first 5 minutes of the movie are really, really quiet, and then it's just this scream fest.
Yeah.
Apparently, from my friends that were in the Marines, my friends from school, they say you have no idea what's going to happen. You go in, you get your hair cut, and then you're sitting you're sitting in the bus, waiting, and just out of nowhere in the middle of the night, you're sitting in this bus, and just somebody just yells at you. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, but you're right about the second half, though. The second half is a
like
generic war movie.
Right.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No,
This is why we got Sarge in Toy Story.
Yeah. Well, that's because stars is Arlie Ermey, 'cause that's all he plays now, are yelling Marines. The only thing that come out of the second half of the movie is the "Me Love You Long Time." Fucky sucky $1.
Yeah,
you know,
that was another high school favorite.
Yep.
Me love you long time. Shut up.
Well, hey, Cutting Crew made use of that
Cutting
one.
Crew. No. True Live Crew.
No, so yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the crews.
Well, True Live Crew was my senior year. So.
But the issue with, I mean, the biggest issue with this is that I think it flails in comparison overall to Platoon.
Oh, Platoon is
is the best Vietnam War movie ever made.
Overall, Platoon is so much better than Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket has the benefit of being a Stanley Kubrick movie, which means every scene was shot meticulously 1,000 times.
Yep.
Right.
I'm fairly certain that Matthew Modine was sent into...
in terms of filmmaking, you can't fault Full Metal Jacket. In terms of the actual the process of making a film.
You can go to sleep after the first half.
Right.
And Adam Baldwin is in that movie.
Oh, that's right.
Young Adam Baldwin.
He's the Baldwin that's not a Baldwin, right?
He's the Baldwin that's not a Baldwin.
Right, gotcha.
No, he's Jane.
He's
Jane from... yeah, I know. He keeps going. So, we'll try to fill these in as best as possible here.
Yeah, just populate them more than they
Yep.
He is not stopping.
Well, hey, he knew... I told we were recording, so...
Jesus
all right.
Christ, lay off the meth, will you?
So next up on this list, Dirty Dancing, which I was shocked wasn't in the top 10.
I thought it was like a bigger movie.
I thought it was a bigger hit than it really was.
It
I think
had
it was like the number
soundtracks.
I thought this was the number 13 movie. I think it was like the number 13 movie of the year.
Though to be honest, the thing that really stands out to me about Dirty Dancing is the song "I Had the Time of My Life."
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Which is so beyond anachronistic when it actually is put in place of what type of music was around in 1963.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't this one also have Hungry Eyes?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
I like Hungry Eyes.
But yeah,
It also had She's Like the Wind.
Well, yeah, you know,
another anachronistic song to 1963.
Well, let's celebrate a movie that celebrates statutory rape.
It does. It does. And the funny thing, did you remember when they did the remake a couple months ago on TV?
I did. I didn't watch it.
Oh my god! I thought my Facebook was going to catch fire. It was just like trying to make it more like a musical, and the leads had zero chemistry.
Oh
yeah. Apparently, I've heard stories about like when they because they did what was that Wolverines.
Red Dawn.
Yeah, they did Red Dawn before this.
Yeah.
And I heard like interviews with Leah Thompson saying she was just watching them.
Named Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, Jennifer Grey, and she was like, they have no chemistry whatsoever.
Yep.
And then they did Dirty Dancing together, and everyone like kind of fell in love with them, despite the fact that they hated each other.
Right, exactly. Not to mention the fact that at this point she was still Jeannie from Ferris Bueller to us.
And this is pre Nose Job.
This was pre Nose Job, which was the worst career decision she ever made.
Because after that, nobody
recognized her.
Yeah, no, she just looked ordinary.
Yeah.
I thought she was great, and but yeah, Dirty Dancing, it was a whole big thing. There was like specials on TV about it.
There were multiple sounds.
It set off like this dancing craze. All of a sudden, you had Dirty Dancing classes.
Yeah.
The lambada and all that stuff, and
forbidden dance.
And like and salsa dancing. I'm like
50s music.
I'm like I grew up in Puerto Rico. Salsa dancing is nothing that.
I blame this movie for Bring It On.
I like Bring It On. Anyway. But yeah, and there was like
fight.
People were going to the cottage where they first did it and like writing their names all over it and everything. It was like it was a touchstone for people that were fans of the movie. It was
like the worst thing to come out of this movie happened like years and years later when Pitbull stole the
I like that too.
Yeah, that song that they
because nothing says
that is pretty cool.
Because nothing says sexy like the Jewish Riviera in the middle of the Catskills.
Exactly. Oh god, so bad. And what's his name? The guy who plays Max Kellerman and is also in Roger Rabbit.
Oh god, that's right.
Stubby K, I think it is. He played R.K. Maroon.
Oh,
no, not R.K. Maroon. He played Marvin Acme.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we've had enough of this.
Yeah, we've had enough fun.
All right, so moving on to, Steve had already mentioned Predator.
Oh, this is such a good action movie. I'm surprised this wasn't in the top 10.
This is another one of those, exactly. You think it did better than it did.
Sci-fi hadn't really hit its stride yet.
But it wasn't a sci-fi movie.
It was a sci-fi
alien monster.
It was a sci-fi movie. It was a sci-fi movie disguised as a homoerotic action movie.
I ain't got time for this.
What,
my God!
Just because Carl Weathers and Schwarzenegger were trying to
son of a bitch, and then just like, oh my God! It's such. Most of the first half of this movie,
I could smell the testosterone coming through the screen.
It's nothing but muscle porn. That's really all it is. Oily bicep pornography. It just.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh. Okay. You got time to duck?
There's one female actress in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And she's a victim.
Yeah.
Doesn't speak English.
Oh, even.
Yay, 1987.
Slow clap.
But I do love how they just hinted at the Predator until the big climax. Really, you just get hints in
right, exactly. It's like Jaws in the jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wasn't until the very, very end that you saw the Predator.
Yeah.
Even in his fight with Arnold, it was he was still in shadow. You just saw explosions all over the place.
Yeah, it wasn't until he fell into the lake and then walked out and it shorted out. That's when you finally see what the hell this thing was.
You are one ugly son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
No, it wasn't son of a bitch. It was motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you clawed vagina face. What else you got for me? Yeah, I mean, we did actually talked a lot about this movie 2 years ago on our big dumb action movie thing. In fact, I think we used it for the title. Get to the chopper! It is a very good movie, though. I haven't watched this in forever.
It's enjoyable. I mean, if you think about, don't think about it too much. Remember the context of what it is in 1987. It's an enjoyable movie. Don't take it so seriously.
Yeah, it's a fun action flick.
All right, I gotta go back to Dirty Dancing for a second.
Jesus. What does Steve write now?
It was my sister's turn to pick the movie when we all went to see Dirty Dancing. Then my mom had to explain to me what abortion was.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, God. All right, next up on the list. Oh, RoboCop.
RoboCop is a timeless masterpiece that taught us all how to love hyper-violent satire without a shred of irony.
That was Stephen.
A lot of people.
Say Stephen Day.
I want a chopper now. We will walk to the roof very calmly. I will board the chopper with my hostage. Anybody tries to stop me, the old geezer gets it. Dick, you're fired!
Thank you.
The funny thing is, a lot of people don't realize it's a parody of itself.
It is. It's a parody of consumerism and actually really just kind of like that right-wing rage that was happening at that time, which was like Cobra.
Right.
The movie Cobra is about, one-man army against the rising crime epidemic.
Right.
So where else do you go from that with the cult leaders who are also criminal masterminds and, still rob grocery stores and whatnot? You have this movie that takes all that, makes it look ridiculous, has this real cartoonish gang of thugs.
Right.
And, I mean, the entire movie is nothing but, violence and squibs.
Yeah.
So,
that's it.
Very many squibs in this movie. Anytime somebody gets shot, nobody gets just shot once. People get riddled with bullets.
Yeah, they get riddled.
Like that poor dude in the boardroom with the Ed 209.
Yeah. They all get completely riddled. And the leader of the gang is the dad from that 70s show.
That is true. Taking the last churro, by the way.
Go for it.
Dude, when Alex Murphy gets killed, he gets slaughtered.
I never realized that they had cut, because when I saw it in the theater, I did see this in the theater.
I did too.
They actually showed his hand getting blown off.
Yep.
Future cuts, until they went back to the unrated cut that out.
Yeah.
That was what that draws the line. Not the dude getting shot in the dick in between
right, and then the nads.
Yeah. Or the dude who's melting.
Yeah, that's the one that most sticks out in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
He falls in a vat of toxic waste. Then he walks around. He's like bubbling. He looks like
the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, I'd say the Toxic Avenger.
I was gonna say, because this movie takes a little. It's like a cross between Toxic Avenger and
Yeah.
It's like a serious, a Toxic Avenger that tries to take itself seriously.
Then he gets hit by a car and explodes.
Itself at the same time.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the whole movie yet, but we did watch the British 10-minute rap song of it, which is on YouTube, which I will say, if you have 10 minutes and you want to see something kind of funny, that's the rapping is pretty well done. I would go for it.
Now the thing that kind of stands out to me about RoboCop when I watch it now is, excuse me,
that's okay,
is that Peter Weller is an archaeologist.
That's a funny thing.
He is a PhD archaeologist, tenured professor, who has gone on like major digs in like the Middle East and stuff like that. And it's like, and you did RoboCop and Buckaroo Banzai. I like Buckaroo Banzai. Leave me alone.
All right. Oh, by the way, I gotta go back on the Steve thing here, and this was actually his last one. This is his last one before I go back to all the other ones he sent.
Don't give me the judgment.
3 Men and a Baby grabbed the #1 spot of the year, whilst The Princess Bride didn't even crack the top 10. Tells you everything you need to know about last year's election. Yeah. So anyway, back to RoboCop.
So it's always been like that.
It's always been like that. So yeah, RoboCop. I love RoboCop. This is
it's such a fun movie.
I don't own RoboCop in any form.
You don't have to. It'll show up on. It shows up on Spike on a regular rotation.
But that's Spike.
Yeah, so
I gotta watch it where dudes are getting shot in the face, and
Yeah. I also gotta say I don't mind RoboCop 2 either.
You know what? I have a soft spot for that movie. I mean, it's not nearly as good, especially if you actually go back to compare it.
No, but on its own, it's still a fun movie.
It's still better than the remake.
That's true. You left his hand?
Why not? Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman. Still looking for that big movie that's gonna make him a star.
Poor guy.
Probably gonna get written out of Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on to the movie that Steve says aged. It only wishes it aged as well as Kiefer Sutherland did, The Lost Boys.
Does your brother sleep a lot?
Yeah, all day.
Does the sunlight freak him out?
He wears sunglasses in the house.
Bad breath, long fingernails.
Yeah, his fingernails are all a bit longer. He always had bad breath, though.
He's a vampire, all right.
Which for me stands out most as the biggest non-Bill and Ted acting role for Alex Winter.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes,
exactly.
This is another one. This was like you rent it. You know, you would rent this movie all the time for like a certain period of time, like throughout 88, 89.
Yeah.
And then you stopped.
It's like also it just like dropped off the face of the earth.
Was this the start of the love affair with the two Coreys?
Yes, this is their
first movie together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow the next
and you
year.
found out how
to Drive.
annoying they were.
Feldman and Haim.
And this is back when Feldman was still like actually, acting and playing characters and not a complete parody of himself.
Yes.
Corey Haim, God rest his soul, has always sucked as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just was worse than this. I feel bad. Anybody in this movie, I feel bad for Jason Patrick. That dude deserved a better career than he got.
Well, after Flatliners was pretty good. After that, he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
Was he in that? Yeah, he was in that. I forgot he was in that. Yeah, Speed 2.
Oh.
He was engaged to... He was the one that Julia Roberts left Kiefer Sutherland for back in the 90s. That was the thing.
Yeah, during Flatliners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flatliners. 2 more years. We have 3 more years. We got to talk about that one, huh?
well, actually, we can talk about this sooner because they are remaking it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's coming out later this year, starring like Ellen Page, I think.
Oh boy!
And actually, it's going to be a sequel because Kiefer Sutherland is going to be in it as his character.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I don't remember hating this movie. I don't remember disliking this movie. I remember liking this movie a lot.
I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, it was.
But this is a time. This is a time capsule. You know why? Because what's his name? The shirtless dude with the saxophone actually plays at the fair at the beach.
Damn.
Tina Turner's sax guy, who essentially
80s sax guy.
It was such an 80s sax guy because he had like the long, greasy hair, and the dude was like,
it was a mullet. It wasn't long greasy.
Yeah,
it was a mullet.
He was fucking ripped to the gills and oiled up, and he didn't even need like the little like neck strap to hold his sax. He would just hold that thing up, biceps are rippling with his tight leather pants.
Oh, good God.
That was a look.
But
that was a look I wish I could pull off.
As far as like
Tim Capello, thank you. Jesus Christ, look at this picture.
Yeah, I searched sax guy in Lost Boys, and this picture from Alchatron.com came up, and it's exactly what Andy just described.
Oh dear God.
Of bad hair and Well, he's got a serious collar.
Yeah.
And then no shirt, and then purple pants with a heavy metal belt, and he's oiled up.
Yep.
And he's rocking that alto sax.
Well, they parodied that on Saturday Night Live. John Hamm played this, like, just otherworldly being called Sergio. This guy was cursed, and anytime something good was going to happen to him, Sergio would, like, break out of the walls, play his sax, all ripped with no shirt and leather pants.
Well, you know, it's funny. Like if any modern cartoon does like a parody of anything from the '80s,
yeah,
they have a ripped up sax guy
that's
playing the sax.
That is the official takeaway from the Lost Boys.
But you know, as far as vampire movies go, this is not bad. This isn't bad.
It's not bad. I actually like the mythology.
It's
It's before. I mean, you know,
before it became pound into dust.
Yeah,
Twilight.
Shiny dust.
Yes,
glittery dust.
Buffy. Well, Buffy.
Buffy was mid '90s,
Yep.
early '90s. The original movie was early '90s.
Yeah. No, and on the Buffy the television show, when you stake them, they turn into dust just because it would made the cleanup on the show so much easier.
Yeah.
They didn't have to be like, okay, now we hide the body sequence of every episode.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next movie on our list.
The first appearance of Thor on the big screen.
That's right, Adventures in Babysitting.
I don't think I've seen that since I thought in theaters.
Yeah, I didn't realize, by the way, that Thor, or the guy that they thought was Thor, was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yep.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio was the first person to play Thor on the big screen.
That's blowing my mind right
Wait
now.
a minute.
All right.
He's the cockroach man from Men in Black, you know?
He's also Private Pyle in Full Metal Jacket.
And he's Kingpin.
He's Kingpin in Daredevil.
And he's brilliant as Kingpin.
But yeah, no, it's just hilarious. Well, first of all, I always thought it was Thomas Hayden Church, who played the garage guy who was mistaken as Thor, who is not a homo. I think you're the greatest. My brother says you're a homo. Back when you could say homo in a movie.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. This is a weird one because I remember this was like one that I taped off of HBO during the free weekend and watched it incessantly. But this is another one of those movies. It takes place in '87. Very distinctly takes place in '87.
Yeah.
And all the music is like from the early '60s.
Yeah.
My mom was... Well, that was the people that were paying for movie tickets back then. My mom was so angry when we came out of the theater. She's like... She said she couldn't sing, and she could sing. And I'm like, she's a teenager. She doesn't think she can do anything.
Yeah, exactly. She kind of sucks. It's Elizabeth Shue from The Karate Kid, so... After what she did to Daniel's son last year in The Karate Kid 2, she does suck. Oh, God. This is a George Newbern flick, isn't it? The Nebuchadnezzar guy who would show up to be like the ideal boyfriend to everybody. I think he's in this. He was the guy who married the bride and father of the bride.
Yes.
He was in a bunch of stuff.
George Newbern.
George Newbern, yes.
The perfect boyfriend.
The perfect boyfriend, George Newbern. Yeah, so that's pretty much what he played throughout all the 80s and some of the early 90s.
Bradley Whitford. Wow.
Bradley Whitford is in this?
Yeah, played Mike Todwell.
Oh, you know what? He was probably the other boyfriend. Like the jerk boyfriend. Because there's always got to be two.
Directed by Chris Columbus.
Oh, wait, isn't
Chris Columbus directed this?
It was his directorial debut.
Really?
You have the two boyfriends. You have the macho, good-looking one who's just going to
be
abusive
awesome
and
car.
horrible.
Who's got the awesome car.
And he's abusive and horrible. And
Yep.
then the Nebuchadnezzar guy who will treat you right.
Right.
That was,
Yeah, that was pretty much every movie in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Penelope Ann Miller's in this movie.
Yeah, she is.
And the gun was never found in her handbag.
Nope.
No, it's only in Betty Lou's handbag.
I don't know.
Catherine's an NST reference.
I think I saw this once. And
Yeah.
I barely remember it.
Yeah, I don't know this one.
All right, next up, Overboard. My wife loves this movie. I've never seen it.
I have no idea.
I was doing my homework, watching clips from various movies that I hadn't really seen or hadn't seen in a very long time, and I saw the explanation of this movie and decided not to even bother watching the trailer. I'm like, this looks terrible.
It's one of those movies that was probably deemed funny 30 years ago, but now is like, this is kind of kidnapping.
Yeah.
Kidnapping, and essentially you're gaslighting her.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we can move on then. All right. Well, Catherine, you hung around long enough. Spaceballs.
Who made that man a gunner?
I did, sir. He's my cousin.
Who is he?
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
That is his name, sir. Asshole. Major Asshole.
And his cousin?
He's an asshole, too, sir. Gunner's mate, first class, Philip Asshole.
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Spaceballs, the movie.
What does Stephen Dace have to say about
He already went over his stuff about the
Okay.
special editions.
All right, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, this.
What can
highly quotable.
This is very possibly my favorite movie this year.
I am the only person who doesn't love this movie.
Yes,
I
you are.
enjoy this movie. I don't love this movie.
I'm
Part of
kinda-
it
I'm
is,
kinda with- I mean, I
think
enjoy
it's
it.
a little too tongue-in-cheek for my taste, especially the older I get, and the more I dislike puns.
Well, he's also a left-handed freak, so.
Yeah, I am a left-handed freak. There's that. But no, it's just like when I compare to other Mel Brooks films, there are better Mel Brooks films out there.
Oh, absolutely.
There are definitely worse Mel Brooks.
But there
I
are
will give
way
you
better. There
that.
are way better.
I mean, I love Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein way more than Spaceballs.
Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein are his best movies.
Right.
But Spaceballs is still fantastic.
Well, and like I said, when we put this on our comedy list, this is like the Gary Johnson of Mel Brooks
I put
movies.
Spaceballs on the same level as History of the World Part 1.
No, I put it above.
Oh no, I put it above that because that movie, while quotable, is terrible.
I like.
But see, the thing is, I enjoyed History of the World Part 1. I enjoy Spaceballs, but I don't go out of my way to watch Spaceballs.
I'm gonna put Spaceballs above Silent Movie because it's way more quotable.
Well, yeah, there's only one quote in Spaceball in the silent movie.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't know. That was a pretty brilliant movie.
It was
though.
a brilliant movie.
Huh?
The producers.
I love the producers.
Well,
It falls into a weird area too because I think
Spaceballs above the producers. For
Mel.
me.
Really?
Yeah.
Mel Brooks was in a weird position at this time where he was actually trying to make a commercially viable movie.
Right.
Because realistically speaking, after Young Frankenstein and the producers, what had he done? After like the big stuff in the 70s?
What was the big serious movie he Elephant? When was the Elephant?
Elephant Man he produced, and that was 1980. He was doing more production then.
Right.
I'm honestly trying to think if he made any movies between, God.
Yeah, I think he had taken a break, and this was
He
his
must
big,
have no.
his big return.
Yeah, the 81 was History of the World, and I don't think he made another movie.
No, I think this is his
until Spaceballs.
Oh wait.
Well, you know what?
When was High Anxiety?
High Anxiety was in the 70s.
Late 70s.
okay.
Well, part of it was because also after Elephant Man, he got into a huge fight with the studio during the making of Elephant Man.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he probably pissed off a lot of studios, and they were like, you know what, we don't want to deal with this guy.
Now that we're talking about it, I think I remember Spaceballs being like the big return.
Right.
Of Mel
The big
Brooks.
return of Mel Brooks, but if you look at the box office of 81 versus what was coming out in 87, there's a huge disparity, and you were trying to make a more commercially viable movie.
Right.
So I understand it's an easy. Star Wars is an easy target. The issue is trying to make a really, really funny, smart Star Wars parody.
Satire.
Because it's like, like with Star Trek, the best parody of Star Trek will always be Galaxy Quest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't so much tongue in cheek, but took the ridiculousness of that situation. I still don't think anybody has truly done that with Star Wars. I mean, with
the hard thing about trying to parody or satire Star Wars is that it's so beloved that
Right. You have to go over the top.
you not just go over the top, but be smart about it.
Yeah.
Play onto what the audience knows about Star Wars and play upon that without offending them. Because Star Wars fans, I mean, we're a sensitive bunch. We don't take it easy when people make fun of our favorite movie franchise. So
Right.
But I think Spaceballs did it as good as anyone possibly could do it.
Especially at that time.
At
when
that
they were
time,
still,
right.
like,
Right, because-
really, when it was still really high.
right. Well, I mean, when by the time Spaceballs came out,
This was 4 years after
right,
the
Return
return.
of the Jedi had already been out for 4 years. Nobody thought pretty much everybody thought the franchise was just like dead.
let's put it this way: the power of the Force figures had ended by this point.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody, George Lucas had no plans to continue the story at the time. There was no such thing as an expanded universe.
No.
So everybody just thought the franchise died with Return of the Jedi because it wouldn't be until '91 when the Thrawn trilogy would start.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to remember when that date was.
91 was when Thrawn came out.
When was Splinter of the Mind's Eye?
Splinter of the Mind's Eye. No, that was 78.
Oh, that's right.
It was the first Star Wars novel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are some funny things in this. I think some of the callbacks to other movies, the Alien thing, I still think is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
the Alien thing is hilarious. The Planet of the Apes thing is hilarious.
Yeah,
we ain't found shit.
That is a hilarious line. The lead up to it, not so much,
right.
But again, I hate puns, so that's kind of my.
I do love the fact that his right hand man was Colonel Sanders.
Pizza Hut. You don't like Pizza the Hut?
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders?
That was a tough one because
Chicken.
the thing with Pizza the Hut was it was a brilliant gag that
It's a sight gag. It's a sight gag.
The sight gags went too long.
Dom DeLuise.
Those went really too long.
Mel Brooks just wanted to get a role from Dom DeLuise in there somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, there were some things that took a little bit. You're like, okay, we could have.
The setup took a little too long.
Yeah.
Funny, she doesn't look Jewish.
All right, moving on to another type of science fiction movie, The Running Man.
Killian, I'll be back.
Only in a rerun.
Which I think, hands down, may be my favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
Loosely based on a Stephen King novel.
Oh my.
Very loosely.
Very loosely
As
based
in,
on a Stephen
there's the
King
title.
story.
It's the same title.
The same way that Blade Runner is based on
Philip K. Dick. All right, let's put it this way. Pretty much the same way that any movie made out of a Philip K. Dick story is based.
Or like it's essentially the same way that Psycho is based on what was that? The serial killer?
Oh, Ed Gein?
Yeah.
Or
Ed
whomever. Ed Gein?
Yeah. Psycho is based on Ed Gein the same way Running Man is based on the Stephen King.
I love this movie.
I enjoyed this movie.
The title, some of the idea, the whole.
And it's the same. You know what? It's the same thing. It's like you said. It's like
he goes from like a skinny accountant to a big buff man.
Well, it's like you said earlier, Andy. It's also muscle porn.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a fun movie.
But it's fun. Again, it's in that same category that Predator is in the context of when it came, what it is. It's a fun movie. Don't take it so seriously.
For a big villain, I thought that
Richard Dawson
was awesome.
Was really good.
Apparently, just playing himself. Apparently, he was that awful of a human being.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, it's funny too. Like some of the villains. Well, one of the guys, the guy who played Dynamo.
Oh God!
Was dead by the time the movie came out.
Yep.
Like he was like 36 years old and died of a massive heart attack.
Damn steroids.
Yeah. One of the worst comeback lines though ever for Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero. Oh my God, that's right.
Now, Plane Zero.
So I just typed in Running Man into Wikipedia just to pull up more info on it. Apparently, there's a South Korean variety show called Running Man.
No shit.
Oh Jesus.
It's coming true! It's coming true!
Well, if things progress to a certain point, are we going to go Hunger Games or are we going Running Man?
Running Man.
Think we're doing Running Man? I don't know. I'm still on the Hunger Games end of things.
Both.
Oh, God.
Both. Why pick one?
Why pick one when you can have two top-rated shows? Essentially, Hunger Games is nothing but Running Man for kids anyway.
Right, and the kids survive, you put them into
Running Man. They put them in the Running Man. All right. Oh, okay. Next movie. I love, and Steve did bring this one up. He's actually not done anything since, so I think we're good here.
Yeah, okay.
Once I finally find it on here for Steve.
Didn't he have something for Running Man as well?
I didn't see anything for Running Man. But I did get this, though. Inner Space. My God, I wanted Meg Ryan so bad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I am with you on that one.
Oh, yeah.
She's beautiful in this movie.
Yes, she is.
He does mention a movie we're not going to really talk about, Made to Order, somehow vaulted Ali Sheedy into the third position of my dream three-way with Meg Ryan. Must have been the Girl Next Door thing.
And Stephen Day said that.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
I love Inner Space.
What is this? Did bugs just stand up? What's going on here? This can't be. I'm in a man. I'm in a strange man. I'll be a son of a bitch. I'm in a strange man, surrounded by strangers in a strange room.
It's a very fun movie.
This movie aged surprisingly well.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
All right,
so
I watched it.
Martin
a few
Short
years
is
ago.
fantastic in this movie.
This is actually one of the first movies I remember being only available on VHS in widescreen too.
Nice.
So I have that admiration for it.
Nope.
Oh, you look like you're gonna say. Oh, sorry. But I mean, considering that this movie is like 45% special effect, it's aged really, really well.
Yeah.
The shrinking, the body stuff, the.
It was a cute movie when it first came out. I remember watching it. It was so much fun.
I mean, it was great having Martin Short play this guy that keeps hearing this voice in his head, and then, when he looks in the mirror to show Dan Quaid's character what he looks like, Dan Quaid's reaction is beauty.
I gotta watch this movie again. It's really. I think it's coming out on Netflix this month.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Go watch it, because I mean,
it is a really good movie.
It's kind of a tough movie to talk to because it's so visual.
Yeah.
Yes.
But definitely check it out. Okay, next movie up. Okay, I got a personal tie to this movie, The Monster Squad. Goonies for 1987.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
This is the movie where the ragtag bunch of white kids meet up with Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Mummy.
Yep.
And I went to college with the lead kid in this movie.
You did?
Andre Gower. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice guy, and really was trying to live down this movie and hasn't acted much since.
This is the movie that Dark Universe should be building towards.
Pretty much. They're going to remake The Monster Squad.
Yeah, there you go.
This is just one of these movies, again, that just has such a cult following, because this was a flop when it came out. I think even, in today's dollars, it would still be considered a flop.
Didn't it? I don't know. I'm thinking of... So for a second there, I thought Fred Savage was it was like, no, that was...
No. He was either in The Wizard or Little Monsters.
Little Monsters, that's what I was thinking of, yeah.
So...
The Wizard.
The Wizard. That's what
It's
happens
so bad.
whenever you blame any type of movie continuity problems. Blame it on The Wizard.
It's so bad.
Anyone else seen this movie, or...
No?
I only remember there was a commercial for it that
Wolfman's Got Nards.
Wolfman's Got Nards.
I've seen clips.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, a canon movie classic. And actually, I'm going to go back to Steve here because we got another canon movie classic we're going to tie into this.
Oh, God.
Superman 4 is what happens when Menachem Golem's genius gets reined in by budget constraints. Much like Masters of the Universe. Holy shit.
Are you going to read what he said about Masters of the Universe?
Oh, is it in there? Go ahead,
yeah. And with Masters of the Universe, we finally complete the trifecta of films that represent the nadir of Menachem Golem's storied career. More gumption than money was always going to have diminishing returns.
In both of these movies, you can literally tell the exact frame that they ran out of money.
When they had to decide between The Blow or the movie.
Oh, no, it's not even that. No, they would just, the entire thing with canon films, which really ties more into... The story of canon films is more interesting than any of the movies they made.
It's like the Atari. It's like the story of
Atari. Yeah. They would make 4 movies. 3 were going to be low budget and terrible, but enough to make enough money to bankroll that 4th movie that was going to make them more money to make 4 other movies. Exactly. So they were really just looking towards the future. They were selling posters. Movies they hadn't even made yet.
In this movie, they pretty much blew their entire budget getting Frank Langella.
Pretty much.
I remember when there was a big rumor that they had the rights to Spider-Man.
Yes, and you know who was going to play him? Michael Dudikoff.
Oh, dear God.
American Ninja.
Actually, American Ninja 2 came out in 1987.
Oh, shut up. Well, that was his warm-up. Oh, my God. Yeah, no, seriously. We could talk about Masters of the Universe, but why bother? It's so loosely based on anything you know about the story of Masters of the Universe. Like, all the guns.
Dolph Lundgren at his Dolph Lundgren-y best.
It's Dolph Lundgrenist.
Yeah.
They were essentially, the director gave him 4 tries for every single line, and if he failed once, they were like, we're dubbing you.
Oh,
So, I mean, I think this is his first lead role,
which is amazing because he's a PhD too.
It's this, yeah, but is he a PhD in like Sweden or?
No, he's a PhD in like engineer.
Right.
He's
But,
like a chemical
but the
engineer.
problem is he can't speak English.
Right.
That was his big, especially then.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
He's not stupid. He's just
He just can't enunciate in English.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think he was still 2 years away from The Punisher. Wasn't 1989 The Punisher?
Yeah.
And when was Rocky IV?
Rocky IV was 2 years before this.
Oh, okay.
But that was like his first American movie, and he
didn't have to speak.
I will break you. You know,
He didn't have to speak.
He dies. He dies. That's it. That's all he has to it. All right. Next up. All right. Now, Steve had already mentioned some stuff we talked about, but let's talk a little bit about Evil Dead 2.
That is
because I'm not a nerd if we don't park on a Raimi movie for a while.
Yep.
That is probably my favorite of the Evil Dead trilogy.
Absolutely.
Because, for me, Evil Dead 1 was too much horror, too little comedy. Army of Darkness was too much comedy, too
not
little
enough.
horror.
This is the good balance.
This was the perfect balance.
Right.
It got everything right. This was...
It's essentially a remake, though, of the first movie.
It is.
It's like a better budget update of the
It is,
of the
but
other
I
movie.
mean, you got it right when he has to chop off his own hand, which then runs around and attacks him, and he traps it under a bucket with books on top of it, and one of the books is a Farewell to Arms. I mean, it's
just brilliant.
It's a perfect running sight gag right there. And
the reading If Chins Could Kill by Bruce Campbell, his whole part of talking about this movie, it was a tough movie to make because it was boiling hot. You know, it was the first movie was rough to make and it took years. The second movie, it was like 1,000 degrees, and he had to work out to get that build.
Yeah.
He was on a strict diet. They had a mask that they could put on his face so they could trace his wounds every day and get them right in the right place for consistency's sake.
But that was also the one that kind of created the Ash character.
Yes.
The one that he kind of became a caricature of his own character in Army of Darkness, but that's the one that it made the Ash that we all know.
Yeah.
Right. So I haven't watched this one in a while. I remember getting this as a Christmas present from an old roommate in like a tin box, and it's a real fun movie. This is definitely the best of the Evil Dead movies, and I hope they never revisit these again.
Well, right now they're making a Star show called Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
I haven't watched that.
It is in like its third season right now.
Yeah, I've actually got the first season on Blu-ray. I've yet to watch it though.
I haven't watched that. I didn't watch the remake of.
No, because that was apparently just a straight horror.
Yeah, that was like even more grotesque horror than the first one. They're like the commentary track on the first one, however, is really funny.
Yeah.
They're like, and this is where we lose all the women in the audience for some reason.
Gee, I wonder what scene that's on.
All right, moving on to one of my wife's favorite movies of this era, Harry and the Hendersons. I don't think I've ever seen this movie all the way through.
No.
Once, so I got nothing to say about it.
But yeah, no, Harry and the Hendersons, I haven't watched this yet. I'm trying to find a copy of it somewhere to show my daughter because my wife wants.
It's been ages since I've seen this movie.
Yeah, I've seen it once and it was on VHS and it was like,
I'm sure
it's forgettable.
Yeah,
it was forgettable for me.
It's a fine 1987 movie, but it doesn't hold up.
Okay, well, eventually I got to show this to my daughter.
Just show him the new MST3K season episode.
Oh,
with
the one with the boy. And
Cry Wilderness.
Yeah, Cry Wilderness.
Bang, bang.
Where Bigfoot just shows up and tells him that his father is in trouble, and then he goes and escapes and finds out his father's not really in trouble. But apparently Bigfoot loves Pepsi. Yeah. Or is it, no, Diet Coke. Sorry, Diet Coke.
All right. Actually, Mike, here's one we should talk about for a second. Steve brought this one up. Steve brings up Jaws the Revenge, a movie whose trailer elicited laughter in all the wrong ways.
Which one was this?
Jaws the Revenge.
The last one.
Was the one where Michael Caine missed accepting his Oscar because he was out in the Caribbean filming this piece of shit.
Oh.
But
yeah, no, I didn't. I don't think I've seen. I might have seen 4.
It was
I
Michael
saw 3 a bunch of times.
I saw Jaws 3D.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I didn't see it in 3D. I saw Jaws 3 on HBO a ton because it was on just as we got to
And you see, for me, I actually like Jaws Revenge more than Jaws 3.
Jaws 3 was a 3D movie making advantage of 3D-ness.
And very badly, too.
Good.
Yes.
But the reason I like Jaws Revenge more is because I never watch it as a thriller or as a Jaws movie. I see it as a parody of the Jaws movie.
Yeah. The shark is going to get revenge on those who wronged him.
Yeah. And when he jumps out of the water, he makes a sound of like a T-Rex roar.
Yeah. No.
We were out in California at the Universal Studios tour when they had the boat in the lake that they were using for pickup shots. Like, they had just finished when we got there.
Wow.
And the boat was still there. I'm like, I should go see that because I'm 14 and an idiot. Actually, no, I was 15 at this time and an idiot.
Hey, I went on the studio tour 2 times when I was out there.
Yeah, of course you do. That's what you do when you go there. You go on the studio tour.
And it's good.
I love the studio tour. But it's like, seeing the boat, like, oh, no, I gotta go see Jaws the Revenge. Dummy.
But it's got Michael Caine.
It's got Michael Caine in it.
Michael Caine makes every movie he's in so much better.
Except for this one. I fall out of a boat, and I get out of the boat, and I'm dry.
But the movement makes you think that Michael Caine dies. And the twist is, he doesn't actually die.
Oh, this is the movie where the black guy dies first but doesn't die at all?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Mario Van Peebles?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, all right. There you go. All right. Next up on our list.
Because why the hell not, right?
Hellraiser.
The box. You opened it. We came.
It's just a puzzle box!
Oh no. It is a means to summon us.
Who are you?
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some. Angels to others.
Man. This movie is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you've ever read the book...
There's a book?
It's a story.
There's a book?
Oh, it's actually a short story by Dean Koontz. This is a Dean
Koontz. Oh my goodness.
The book, the short story, is way more fucked up than this movie could ever dream of being.
And this movie's fucked up.
This movie, I only recently watched this movie.
Oh,
a couple
let me just
years
put it
ago,
this way.
and I was like, what the hell?
The short story has got so much ejaculate in it.
Oh,
this movie makes.
I have never seen a horror movie so sexualized in my entire life.
This movie makes the Cthulhu legend seem tame.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing.
Cthulhu isn't sexualizing the way this is.
This was
the
pain and pleasure. That is really the whole principle of this entire movie. Yeah. Is the pain and pleasure.
I mean, even the monkey decided to be like, you know what?
Fuck this shit. That's just fucking...
good.
That's wrong. That's fucking wrong.
I'm out.
I wrote my own shit according to that movie. So, I'm out.
Oh.
I do like this movie a lot.
I can't watch it.
I don't know if I could ever watch it again. It was just not...
I don't think it's aged well. I guarantee it hasn't aged well.
I watched the TV edited version, and I can't watch it anymore.
I can't...
That was too much for me.
It's not my cup of horror.
No.
I remember once I went to this comic book shop. They had a replica of Pandora's box.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck's wrong with you people?
So, we were watching this in college. And, everyone's just in the, in like the TV room, all getting our drink on, get the lights down, incense burning, we're going to watch Hellraiser. Halfway through the movie, one of my suite mates had the model of the box and just sees that we're all good and toasty and just pops it down. And it was really just to see if anybody was going to touch it.
Yeah. And I wonder who was the first one that needed to change their underwear after that.
It wasn't me, strangely enough. Because that would be something I would do. Now, the funny thing about these movies, though, apart from, I think the second one was okay, everything else from there is such horse shit. Oh my god. And then, these movies actually have Alan Smithy.
Yes.
As directors.
Didn't the third one have someone turn into someone that shoots DVDs?
No, CDs. He was the DJ.
Yeah, he shoots CDs and uses them as razor discs, which...
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was, because that was his thing. The third one was just they were turning the Cenobites into actual just monsters
Yeah.
and not just demons. So that was kind of the thing with it. Like the original 4 Cenobites were cool because they almost like they all represented some kind
they
of
embodied like some twisted one.
Yeah.
A twisted version of something.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Summer School with Mark Harmon. No,
Never seen it.
No, oh my God, Joe!
I don't know if I've ever even heard of
we
it.
rented this movie about 1,000 times between the summer of '88 and the summer of '89. This was I remember being a very funny movie, and then we all stopped talking about it. You pulling it up?
Yeah, to see if it rings a bell.
It's actually directed by Carl Reiner, which is interesting.
Nope.
Not at all?
Not really, nope.
It's essentially, it just shits on gym teachers not being real teachers and, helping a bunch of kids through their summertime problems.
Yeah, I knew I hadn't seen it, and it was definitely...
That sounds similar to one of my favorite movies from this year, Ernest Goes to Camp.
All right, go ahead.
That was my favorite of the Ernest movies because it's just so darn fun. It's the classic. Yeah, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah, I know.
It's just Ernest. He has to lead this group of outcast kids. From the wrong side of the tracks, and they've got to try and stop this evil developer from tearing down their camp.
Okay. Like every camp movie made in the 80s.
Yeah,
All right.
This one has got Ernest.
Okay.
Except the Camp Crystal Lake movies.
And the chef uses the special of the day to help fend off the evil corporate.
I'm sorry, but the best camp movie ever made was Wet Hot American Summer.
Yep.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go hump the fridge.
You've never seen Ernest Goes to Camp, have you?
I've seen parts of it. I worked in a video store. Anyway. Next up we're really winding down here, so this is we've already separated the wheat from the chaff here, but a couple we just got to bring up. Some Kind of Wonderful, which was Pretty in Pink with a sex change.
Yeah.
My friend Dave was supposed to get me a story. He told me this story, and I'm going to butcher this, so let's just say, long story short, he and a buddy of his loved this movie, had a wicked crush on Mary Stuart Masterson. His buddy goes off, becomes an actor, and then marries Mary Stuart Masterson.
Nice.
Yeah. I hope I didn't butch that, Dave. I really, really hope I didn't butch that.
Did we mention Made to Order? Because Stephen Day had it.
I already brought that up. It's just part of his dream three-way with
Meg Ryan.
Him, Meg Ryan, and Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know I saw that movie and it was terrible.
Well, it was like the movie Baby Boom. Baby Boom with Diane Keaton, where she's her only sin in this world is being a successful woman in the late 80s. So they've got to domesticate her some way by leaving a baby at her door, because that's the thing that happens.
Of course.
To rich white ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Made to Order. That was a movie that was so bad. At the time, I realized it was a bad movie.
Yeah. Oh
Because
God.
I saw that. I think my mom dragged us to see that in theaters, and it was terrible.
Being like a teenager, an early teenager, there's nothing worse than realizing a bad movie, because everything should just be like, should at least be given a good grain of salt acceptance.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really you became a woman that day. Sadly, I did not become a man when I didn't realize that the movie Back to the Beach was not a good movie.
Oh, really?
I saw that in the movie theater. My grandmother had us for the weekend. She's like, why don't you and your sister go see a movie? I'll drive you to a movie. So my sister's 3 years younger than me. So I was about 15. She was 12. So we had to see something that was appropriate for both of us. So I couldn't go see Kevin Costner in No Way Out or The Untouchables. So we ended up seeing Back to the Beach, which I was like, oh, Pee Wee Herman's in it. I'm sold. Pee Wee Herman is in it for exactly one scene.
Ugh.
The only takeaway from this movie I had was that Fishbone did some of the music for it. Oh, and I was introduced to the guitar stylings of Dick Dale. A love affair that has lasted to this very day.
That's a plus.
I love Dick Dale. Anyway, last movie on this list that we have, the feel-good Christmas classic for 1987, Less Than Zero.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen Less Than Zero?
Nope.
No? Mike?
I've seen enough.
Have any of you guys ever read the book Less Than Zero? Because it's even more depressing.
Nope.
Ain't nothing happy about this. This is a story of 3 rich, drug-addled white kids who end up spending the entire movie being rich, drug-addled white kids.
And being mocked by
Ultron.
Yes.
Yeah, James Spader plays the villain, the third button unbuttoned, sweater around the neck douchebag, tormenting Robert Downey Jr.
The 80s prep bad guy.
Wow. He was the 80s prep bad guy. Yes, Ultron essentially causes the drug overdose death of Tony Stark in this movie.
So they've been
going at it for 30 years.
Yeah.
And but if you look at like the face doubling that they did for Civil War, it almost looks like it was taken directly out of Less Than Zero.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
he was really, really young at that point. He had a very young face at that point.
He did. And it didn't last that way because that's
around the time that
the drugs.
Yeah, Less Than Zero was strangely prophetic in his. Well, not completely prophetic, thank goodness.
Yeah,
but
I don't love the drugs, but the drugs love me. Yes.
I'd like to bring up another movie that wasn't on the list.
Yes.
But this was when I was talking about things that were not my horror cup of tea. This one was actually what got me kind of going into horror. It was A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors.
Oh God.
Yeah, I never really watched anything beyond 1.
Yeah. Well, 2 was horrible. We ignored 2.
Yeah.
But 3 was when Freddy really got into the puns and being kind of funny as well as being horribly killing everybody.
That one had Larry Fishburne in it, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. I picked up on those on 4. Actually, to this day, I don't even know if I've actually seen Dream Warriors.
I think I watched the making of on television.
All right.
And so, like, I didn't see it until many years later, but I know it's like, oh, this is how I remember how they did this sequence, and I remember how they told me how they did this sequence, and so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the thing that I remember most from just seeing clips from 3 is Freddy taking the tendons out of someone's arm and using that as like puppet strings to make them walk up a window.
That was the character created, like, did puppets, and he's like, okay, let's see. That was horrific, and that was. Like, even today, the special effects don't hold up, but you can still... The actor's response to it sells it.
Yeah, just seeing that clip enough was like, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll stick to my Friday the 13th.
Now, I just started watching Rick and Morty. and your husband actually brought this up too.
I know what you're talking about.
The thing with the like the inceptioning, with the just passes the copyright enough Freddy Krueger, with swords for fingers.
Yep.
Oh, bitch! He sure says bitch an awful lot, Rick. Which is funny because after I watched that, one of my managers, Nadine, like every time I'm like. I do something good at work. She's like, oh, I'm like, oh, bitch.
And the centaur.
Yeah. God. There's some really fucked up dreams, Rick. I got to admit, the show isn't nearly as brilliant as people make it out to be but it is so fucked.
Oh, it is.
It has its moments.
Have you gotten to the second season yet?
Not yet. I'm still in the...
There's some...
I did jump ahead to season 3 because I didn't realize that there was a lot of continuity in this show.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, season 3 hasn't aired yet.
It aired.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It just started after, like, 2 years.
The entire reason why he's doing time travel is to go back to 1998 to get the McDonald's Szechuan sauce from the Mulan McDonald's tie-in. Oh my God! I forgot about this one. Roxanne.
Was that 87?
87.
Wow.
I love Roxanne. That is a great.
Wow.
That is a Steve Martin classic.
That is.
This wasn't wild and crazy guy Steve Martin. This was more legitimate. Yeah, legitimate actor. Doing great comedic roles.
Yeah. This was Cyrano de Bergerac brought to the modern era. He did some goofy stuff, but yeah, it was very. It was very well done.
It's weird. If you watch the trailers are pretty much, hey, this is goofy Steve Martin.
But then you watch it, and he's really kind of tends to be like a secondary character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was how they were like, this is how we're going to market the movie and get people to come see it, and then we're going to show them that he actually has some acting chops.
Yeah. I remember this was like the first like big legitimate talk Steve Martin was going to become.
Yeah.
You know, like a serious actor. This was like serious Oscar talk for him. Any others before we conclude, guys?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
We kind of talked about that, but go ahead, Joe. We talked about being a Thanksgiving classic. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, I kind of forgot. But no, it is. It is such a quotable movie. And it's a thanks... This is the movie that starts the holiday season for me. Every year at Thanksgiving, I put this on, and I know it's holiday time. I know it's time to get into the mood. Pissed off.
Well, there's also we also didn't mention the comedy classic "Throw Mama from the Train." Oh man! Billy Crystal,
and Danny DeVito,
and Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey, yep. She got an Oscar nomination for this. I remember my mother's old boyfriend Tom said that one of the best side man, straight man roles of this era was Bradford Marcellus, who was he was Billy Crystal's best friend in the movie, but he's so like he doesn't attempt to steal the scenes or do anything like that. He just is.
Yeah.
He's just there. Anything else?
Greed is good.
Oh God, Wall
Greed
Street
is
Jesus,
right.
I'm thinking about this.
Greed works.
A movie that is heroic only to douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, but isn't Charlie Sheen the hero of that movie?
Oh Jesus Christ! Why are you bringing that up? Why are you bringing Charlie Sheen up? And they made a sequel with the beef.
Yeah, they did.
What about The Living Daylights?
Oh shit! Oh God! Yeah, so many movies. It's like we're totally. Let me put it this way. In the interest of time, we can't go over every movie released.
I thought we could save The Living Daylights for a Bond episode.
We kind of did one already, like 5 years ago, but Living Daylights, honestly, out of the two Dalton movies, maybe the worst of the two. I kind of like License to Kill.
I actually prefer this one over License to Kill.
Well, this one is more of a tried and true Bond movie.
Yeah,
than
which is why
License
I
to
like
Kill.
it more.
Okay, which makes sense. I don't mind. I actually like the Aha theme.
It's not bad. Oh, actually, no. I like the Aha theme. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Actually.
Now I thought this movie was a lot more highly regarded, and we haven't talked about it. Empire of the Sun.
Right.
You know what? Realistically, let's put it this way. This is how jam-packed this movie season is. We didn't even bring up what won Best Picture. The Last Emperor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, there are so many movies, and, I mean, yeah, Empire of the Sun. Isn't that, that's a Steven Spielberg movie with Christian Bale, right?
Yeah. Christian Bale's first acting role, I think.
Yeah. Last Emperor, I remember it looking beautiful, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about it.
No, I never saw it.
I remember a couple scenes from it when I watched it, but not much.
And Dragnet.
Oh my God, Dragnet.
Oh, Dragnet!
I love Dragnet.
I watched Dragnet a lot when I was a kid.
Dragnet is a horrible guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
It is, but it's... That's...
Did you say it was a horrible guilty pleasure?
No, guilty pleasure.
I get it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There you go. I got it.
I'm going to do the goat dance now.
All right.
You know what is funny? To remember a time before Tom Hanks was actually considered a really big deal.
Yeah. When Tom Hanks was just that funny guy.
Yeah, he was like, you had a straight-laced guy, then you had Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd was the straight-laced guy.
Oh my God. You know, the thing is, I understand what he's trying to accomplish, but he's almost unbearable in this movie.
Almost.
Mainly because it's Dan Aykroyd, and realistically speaking, he's the worst part of Ghostbusters.
I like his character.
I don't mind.
Well, compared to everybody else. Compared to the other Ghostbusters. Well, I mean, I actually like Winston better than I like.
That's like saying, you know, that's the diamond that's least shiny. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also Bill Murray is slimy.
I understand.
Well, literally.
Dorky, I like. Slimy, not so much.
He did have drugs in his pocket. Before he realized that he was actually going to have to use them for their intended purposes. So
we also have the movie that is no longer Bill Cosby's lowest point of his career.
Oh, Leonard Part 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did watch that a few times on HBO.
Oh my God.
That was like, you know, the height of my enjoying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I was just confused by the title. Was confusing enough.
Yeah.
They explain it. They couldn't show you parts 1 through 5 because they were classified.
Right. Well, that's the problem. Is I never watched any of them because it's like couldn't.
I think this was my introduction to vegetarians existing.
Oh.
Was Leonard Part 6.
What else you got, Mike? Anything of note?
Batteries not included. It's you know it's a fun little movie.
It's E.T. for old people.
Yeah, it's not bad. You know, Jessica Tandy, Elizabeth Pena.
Yeah, it's E.T. for old people.
Yeah.
I thought that was Cocoon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Cocoon. All right, so it's E.T. meets Cocoon meets old people.
Hey, Brad Bird co-wrote the screenplay.
Oh.
He did.
Really? Oh, you're right. You're right. He did. And then he became a director of the best Pixar movies ever.
Yes, he did. And he will be Incredibles Part 2, which is being made because there is footage. It has been seen. I didn't see it, but Jonna did.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Spill it, Jonna.
Yeah, apparently, Penelope. No, yeah.
That's Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. Oh, Wreck-It Ralph too. Then no, Jonna did not. See it.
Yeah, I know. She saw stuff from Wreck-It Ralph 2, which is coming out.
Yeah.
I think next year.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
All right, awesome, guys. You got any of the movies you can remember?
No.
Nope.
All right.
Well,
so
Teen Wolf 2.
Huh?
Teen Wolf 2.
Fuck off.
We're now in the Jason Bateman.
In the Jason Bateman area. Yeah, exactly. Where he's
Like,
doing
that's-
awesome work.
Right.
The Bateman Renaissance.
Bateman Renaissance.
Yeah.
I thought that was Arrested Development.
Well, that's
that's
what
what started it.
Oh.
And it hasn't stopped. He has been on a
we're
non-stop
saying
awesome
Teen
train
Wolf-
ever since.
Yeah, Teen Wolf 2 was not.
Apparently, his new Netflix show is actually very.
I've heard
very good.
Ozark is apparently awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet because I have no time to watch anything, but
Yeah.
there it is. So anyway, guys, good conversation.
Yeah.
My God, we might actually, with edits, get this under 2 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
amazing.
Breeze right through it, yeah.
All right, so next episode, we've got a bit of a project here because we're leading up to episode 150. For episode 150, not to give it away too much, for episode 50, we did the best best superhero movies ever made.
Yeah.
All right, which essentially, again, listener-based votes. So we figured it's 100 episodes later.
Yeah, it's
been
like
at least 6 years later.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened in 6 years.
Just a few extra movies.
We didn't have an Avengers movie 6 years ago.
Yeah.
All right?
We didn't have Captain America Civil
So,
War.
before we get to 150, where we talk about the best comic book movies of all time, we're going to go to 149, the worst comic book movies of all time. As voted by you. So, we're doing 15 of them. So, what we want from you are your 15 worst comic book movies. These are domestic, theatrically released movies.
Do we want 15 or just 10?
We'll do 15.
Okay.
What the hell? I'm interested in seeing
Up to 15.
Up to 15.
If you
Okay.
can't think of that many, you can still vote.
You can still vote, yeah.
However many you can think
So
of.
these are domestically released movies, and they have to have been theatrically released in the United States. So the Captain America movie from 1990 with Matt Salinger does not count. The Dolph Lundgren Punisher
was a TV movie.
Was a TV movie, doesn't count. The Roger Corman Fantastic Four
That never
doesn't count.
Never got released.
Yeah, exactly. I have two.
All the direct-to-DVD video cartoons.
Yes. Don't count.
However, Fan 4 Stick does count.
Yes, exactly.
And guess what's going to be on my list?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be on a lot of people's lists. And
I saw it first day. I can't get that hour and a half.
Dummy. All right, so that's what we want. You can send them to us on our Facebook page, which is Geek Salad Podcast. You can email us your up to 15 list for the worst at geeksaladradio@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio. And I think I got everything.
Yeah.
All right, and you can listen to our archive either at iTunes, on the Stitcher app, or on the Podbean app, or check out the full everything on our YouTube page, which is just Geek Salad Radio.
Yep.
And our website, which is geeksalad.podbean.com. So you guys got anything else to plug before we move on?
No, not right now.
Plug. Cap.
I'm good.
You're good? I think we're good. We're
think
hot.
we're good.
It's late.
Yeah.
So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.
Hey, that's my escape pod. Who are you?
I'm the bearded lady. What are you, one of the freaks?